Hi, this is Manny Tweety Bird Da Silva of Ultraviolence. You're listening to Meet Me at the Tiki on C4OC Radio.
Huntington Henry here in Huntington Beach, Surf City, California, with your beach and surf outlook for this weekend. Today it is Friday afternoon, March 24th, 2023, and we have sunny skies at the beach. Although it is a little breezy onshore, west-southwest wind, 12 to 15 miles an hour, pretty steady with gusts up to 20. That's keeping us cool on the top sand at about 61 degrees for today's high. Morning low air temperature was about 49 degrees. Saturday looks a little less windy, but still cool at the beach, topping about 61, 62, with morning low air temperatures in the upper 40s. And Sunday, pretty much the same story, maybe a 62 for the afternoon high topper on the sand. The wind starts out early in the morning at our sunrise at 6:51 a.m. The wind's from the northeast, a few miles an hour, but after about 9 a.m., 10 a.m., the wind does increase onshore in the afternoon, although less windy for this weekend. So weather looks pretty good with some passing clouds. Sunset, 7:07 p.m. The surf remaining west-southwest wind swell, a little bit of southwest swell, only about 2 to 3 occasional 4 feet. It's best in the morning with those slight offshore winds. It gets pretty blown out in the afternoon, and not much change expected for Saturday and Sunday. We're going to be in that 2 to 4 foot wave face range. Water temperature still on the chilly side, 56, 57 degrees. High tide was this morning, 11:55 a.m., a 3.9. Low tide, 5:32 p.m., a 1.1. So it looks like pretty good weather at the beach, a little breezy in the afternoon, and the surf in that 2 to 4 foot range. Hey, join me over at my YouTube channel, Henry Surf Showcase. That's Henry Surf Showcase, all small letters, all one word, or just look me up on YouTube, Huntington Henry. That's the latest from the Huntington Beach Pier, Surf City, California. Back to you, Zachary, at the Cove and the Rock and Roll Tiki Bar.
partying out here at Zach's Cove and Rock and Roll Tiki Bar. So glad you could join us. Step on in and we're going to pour you some rum and have your music spun. I'd like to thank the boys in the band for sitting in with me here. And, get a little off our chest here at the end of the week, with all the bullshit going on. It's nice to be able to, do some bitching, ranting, raving with your rock and roll tiki bartender here about the stuff that ails you, the bullshit going on in the country. And hey, I got that song again that I started the show off with, Justice for All. Again, last week, #1 on iTunes. Great Donald Trump and the January 6th Choir. And, you at the end of that song, they're going, USA. These guys are in jail, man. I could picture me and the boys in the band being there on jail. I mean, if the cops let you in and you could walk in, I would have liked to walk through those halls like the Ramones did in Rock and Roll High School. I don't know if you guys remember or seen that movie, but they're walking through the school and Principal Toga is standing there, and Johnny Ramone's got the guitar, and he's carrying it with him. They're walking in the line, and the guitar pokes her in the ass. Lindsay could pull that off, right? Lindsay poked Nancy Pelosi in the ass, and I would have sat on her desk and smoked a fatty. Indeed, geez, if that's the worst thing you do. Take a selfie and poke Nancy Pelosi in the ass with a guitar. There you go. Well, thanks, Tweety and Screaming Jack and Lindsay. We're having a good time at their expense. We certainly can have a good time at their expense. And again, thanks for joining me here. Join the Denster tomorrow. His Metal Meds, a great spend Saturday afternoon with the Denster. He'll continue the rock and roll party over the weekend from Las Vegas. And you don't even have to sit on the 15 from the California in the traffic to get there. Just tune into Denster's Metal Meds Saturday night. And he's rocking with you, and we're rocking here. And one of the things, I mentioned this a week or two ago, and I mentioned it last week, my dear friend Cherie Curry of the Runaways. So great to be able to jam with her and call her a friend. She went and toured, she's on a European tour, but her being Irish and Welsh and a little tad Scottish, a little shot. She wanted to tour the Emerald Isle for St. Patrick's Day. What a cool thing to do. Wish I could have been there rocking with her. On a sad note, Cherie lost her brother Don. He during the month of March, right before she did the tour. She was heartbroken, obviously. He was only about 60, great guy, and she dedicated the tour to him. But her and I had chatted about it. There are some songs you can't do. You can't redo. Don't touch that. But I said to her, her and I had a love for Bowie, and we shared a moment, back when he passed. And, she was extremely inspired by Bowie when she got in the Runaways. And, we suggested, that this might be a good song, but you got to do it right. And she dedicated it to her brother, Don. This is Cherie Curry live in, the Golden Bear Lounge. I promised you this. This is Cherie Curry's version of Life on Mars.
It's a god-awful small affair to the girl with the mousy hair. And her mommy's yelling no, and her daddy's told her to go, but her friend is nowhere to be seen as she walks through a sunken dream to the sea with the clearest view.
full rendition. Cherie Currie, Life on Mars, live in the Golden Bear Lounge here for you today. And while we're being melancholy, let's pour a drink and think of some of the, I certainly feel for her losing her brother. And I'd like to sort of, while we're on that melancholy note, it is so awful losing people, that never kind of goes away. We learn to deal with it, but it certainly, always sticks with us, and my heart breaks for Cherie. And on that note, I'd like to do a toast in his memory. And I lost a dear friend, this month. I got to send a shout out. My mentor, teacher, brother, friend. I can't even say enough about my dear friend, Philip Trout. He goes back to old Hollywood. That was one of the great things about hanging out with Philip. Was, he lived the old Hollywood. He'd take me to some of the great places, some of the jazz clubs, and some of the, before things, when Hollywood had its golden age. And he and I would share things, and just so you know, at one point he was walking around door to door in Hollywood with a top hat, a tails and a cape and a cane, and would knock on your door and say, "Welcome to the wide, wonderful world of radio," and had this spiel about getting involved in radio. And, back in the day, he would go to those beatnik jazz smoke-filled clubs, and people would be sitting up there doing poetry and, that beatnik sort of style. He got me some Duke Ellington CDs. I got to give him a shout out. But there was a spot. He had his balcony at the Magic Castle in Hollywood, and I used to. Not only did I go see him there, but you're only allowed in the Magic Castle if you've been invited or if you're a licensed magician. And he would let us go and visit me, Diane, the family, my daughter. We'd go in, and you had to say a password to get through. The bookshelf slides open, and you go into the depths of the Magic Castle. And very cool spot, very, very cool. But again, Philip would be up on the balcony. Sometimes I'd drive friends through Hollywood, and I'd just pull in there, and, I'd call Philip on the cell phone and tell them I'd have a wizard come out of the balcony of the Magic Castle and wave. And he would. And he had a spot where he and I would go take a walk up the hill. It was a unique spot, but between the Magic Castle and the Hollywood Bowl, there's a mountain there. The Yamashiro is a Japanese restaurant up atop there. They took in everything there comes from Japan. Like those, if you could picture the big giant golden Buddha, and as there are steps going up the mountain with that pagoda, Japanese type pagoda up the steps. Anyway, we'd go up the hill, and I don't know if anyone ever saw a show called Boston Legal, William Shatner, but at the end of the show, they'd always go out on the balcony. They were two attorneys, and they'd smoke cigars and talk about the day or the case or life in general. And we would often tease that's when we were up top, sitting next to the Golden Buddha, and he put a little table there, like one of those cocktail tables with two large chairs, and we'd sit up there near the Golden Buddha atop the mountain and smoke joints. Instead, we'd have our cigars, and the view, if you can picture looking over Los Angeles, you could see the Capitol Records building, you could see downtown LA, you can see the ocean. It's just a very cool view, and overlooking there, and was always enjoying going with Philip. But another thing to know about where he lived there, again, he passed away, and, I sort of went up there to pay tribute. Ace Frehley was playing that night, but I went up. As a matter of fact, it's been raining. I've told you guys how much it's been raining. When I got to the top of the hill, the rain broke, and the sun shone down on his balcony where he was, and I was looking down on him, and great to let him know that I loved him before he did pass away. And it was just, what I wanted to mention is the Magic Castle is right in the shadow of the auditorium behind the Kodak Theater where the Oscars are held. Now, the Oscars were held just a week or so ago, and again, Philip passed, and then the Oscars happened. He'd always kind of be out on the balcony and watch the celebrities come up. Like I said, Philip and I, it was old school Hollywood. He and I would walk over to the Hollywood Bowl, just so you know, during the summer. And he would be able to get in. We would just get in. It would just be me and him and a classical orchestra playing. They're practicing. And he would often tell me back in the day when there wasn't radios and stuff, Kings would have, orchestras play for them. It would, and if they were taking a walk, put the orchestra on the barge and tow it along with the King. But he and I would sit there smoking joints, the only ones in the Hollywood Bowl with a classical orchestra. And that's what I mean by old school Hollywood. But as I said, Philip passed away, and then the Oscars took place, and the who's who and royalty of Hollywood show up, of course, at the Oscars. But this song was played by Lenny Kravitz right under Philip's balcony there in memoriam, and I'm going to play it for you now. This is Lenny Kravitz.
Can you hear me on the cloud?
beautiful, and that goes out to my dear friend Philip Trout, who, it sucks losing people. Thank you, Lindsay. Appreciate that. He was the man on the mountain. the wisdom, and it's just awfully sad. But I was up there and I paid tribute, and then I went shot down to the Whiskey to see Ace. And I think this song is kind of fitting by Ace. I really love this tune, In Memoriam.
Was a friend of mine that almost got me dead. I crashed some cars, got into fights, some things I now regret. I've been told I got 9 lives, or maybe even 10. Now I changed my ways, my soul's restored. I'm better now than then. We're just a little below, a little lower than the angels, and that's alright. That's alright with me. Tempting fate's not what I wanted to. I'll soon enough be dead. And all that glitters isn't always gold. I've heard it said. I've taken chances, I crossed the line. I lost my faith in love. Now the road is clear, my aim is true, with help from above. We're just a little below, a little lower than the angels, and that's alright. That's alright with me. We're just a little below, a little lower than the angels, and I can't fly. I won't fly away. You know I won't fly away. We gotta find our own way. But I don't know if I'll make it to heaven. Just open the gates of hell.
Daddy, have you ever seen an angel?
Sure, baby.
Well, what was it like?
The most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Just a little below, a little lower than the angels. That's alright. That's alright with me. We're just a little below, a little lower than the angels. And I
Just a little below, a little lower than the angels, and that's alright. That's alright with me. We're just a little below, a little lower than the angels, and I can't fly. I won't fly away. We're just a little below, a little lower than the angels, and that's alright. That's alright with me. We're just a little
Oh, I love that song from Ace Frehley, And yes, indeed, doing my little tribute to my dear friend Philip Trout. He was, like I told you, we'd go up there and overlook Hollywood while we were smoking joints. He was my man on the Silver Mountain. rainbow right there. And like I said, Philip Trout was whenever I went to Hollywood, when the sun was going down, I could count on Philip being up atop the mountain, and I'd take the trek, and he'd have some red wine, some cheese and crackers, and a joint waiting for me. And as a matter of fact, he did. One time he started putting these little figures together on the ledge up there. And, people would, go up through the gardens. There were Japanese gardens and a restaurant up top there. And there was a swimming pool as well. He, of course, had the key to it, and we'd go in for a swim on a hot day after seeing, rehearsals for a current play that was playing, at the Hollywood Bowl. We'd get the preview of the show before the weekend, and it was always fun. A lot of celebrity TV stars, movie stars would always want to be in the play during the summer at the Hollywood Bowl, and we would be able to be in there with all their, relatives and friends to do a good dress rehearsal. That was always fun. And, but anyway, he started building this and leaving little things, and then people started leaving other little things, and it became this little, I don't know what to call it, like a little diorama, but it grew, and it eventually got in the LA Times. Somebody wrote it up that this magical little leprechaun-like, things just sort of started appearing, and people started adding to it. It's like we tell you here, sharing. You tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and so on and so on. And that's the way it went up there. It was a little magical. And before the lockdown and the pandemic, we had gotten it to a point where on Thursdays there would be a flea market of sorts up there with a bar and a band and music. And I actually spoke to Denny about getting some bands up there, but then again the lockdown came. But we would have a band playing up there and a couple of food trucks and things happening, people singing, dancing, playing music. A couple of times I just couldn't make it off the mountain. I slept on Philip's couch. Great times. Now, I got a song here that no one's heard, but I'm going to play it for you, and it kind of fits the mood. I love you, Philip, and I'm happy to be doing this on the radio for you. And this is a film, currently working on this film. We're currently doing a few things on this. This is the title track from the film, Trust in Love.
We started with love. We started as one. Where did we go wrong? How do we come together? How do we find our way back? Too much time has passed. Too much anger has kept us apart. Too many generations. Have felt the pain and the sacrifice of lives. A new world is here.
$69 US Special Forces device turns men into beasts. This Marine Corps officer is bringing military technology to the public by inventing a device that emulates 54,000 crunches in 20 minutes and builds an incredible six-pack up to 10 times faster than regular exercise, allowing you to get ripped in just a few weeks without working out or dieting. Here's how the story began a few months ago. Captain James Snipes is a 32-year-old US Special Forces officer and a bioengineer. He had dedicated his life to serving his country and was always on the front lines, putting himself in harm's way to protect his fellow Americans. But during one fateful mission, James' life changed forever. He He was leading his unit through enemy territory when they were suddenly ambushed. In the heat of battle, James was struck by enemy fire and suffered severe injury. Fortunately, James' unit managed to secure the hazardous area and evacuate him to the hospital, saving his life. He spent the next 3 months in a hospital bed healing, determined to return to the front lines and serve his country again. But when he finally recovered, he realized that his body was still weak and he wouldn't have enough time to get back in shape for the critical next mission. He knew he had to find a way to get back in shape fast. That's when James remembered what he learned in the army about using electronic muscle stimulation to help muscles grow, and had a desperate idea. Using the EIMD phenomenon that powers all the muscle tissue growth in a human's body, he built a revolutionary device that uses military technology and an innovative type of stimulation to ignite rapid fat loss and explosive muscle gain. Having only 3 weeks left for the mission, he started using the device for 20 minutes per day to improve his core, arms and legs muscles, and the results were incredible. Just after a few days, he began feeling stronger and started losing fat he gained when recovering.
Lost in Love. And like I said, that'll be a film coming soon. I'll tell you more about that. But I dedicate that to Philip Trout. I picture doing that on top of his mountain there. And to Don Curry, Cherie's brother. I know it must be very difficult and up and go halfway around the world to do a tour when you have, a broken heart like that. But I send that out to Don as well. And let's fill our glasses. Get Titi to fill a ball here, buddy. And we're going to, bring up the mood a little bit. We're going to do our Hot in the New York Minute. Hey, Cuisine, are you craving some great pizza here in California? Well, forget about it. Take it from a New Yorker. Unless you get on a plane and travel to New York City, you cannot touch great pizza here in California. Let me tell you something. You can get back in the New York groove, located right here in Huntington Beach and Seal Beach at A Slice of New York Pizzeria. It truly is a slice of the New York Island paradise. The best tasting pizza in all of California. Stop in and pick up a pie. No, not a pastry shop. A pizza pie. Made just like it's done in the Big Apple, but right here in the Orange. That's the best of both worlds. It does not get better than being here on a California beach and closing your eyes when you bite into a slice, and it instantly puts you back in the New York groove. So don't settle for inferior pizza. So what's the matter, you? Come in, a slice of New York pizza, and get back in the New York groove. Manja. It's time for a Hot in the New York Minute, where we like to take it around the bar here with a little, speak to someone that's got a little of my New York attitude. So we always like to hear from our good friend, Ticked Off Vic.
What do you say on my Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, your sister's asked to punish, but it's very ticked off Vic here. You know what ticks me off? Trying to find help in a big box store. These stores are tremendous. They have everything you want, but they put maybe 1 to 3 people in a store the size of Cleveland. So now the other day, I needed those for the wine bottles, these storage units, the modular storage units that you could add on as you go on. So I'm in the store and I'm walking, I'm looking over here, I'm looking over there. They're not in the kitchen section, they're not in the lighting section. And now it's getting to a point, I'm walking 2 to 3 miles, I'm going up and down every aisle. I was like Jack Nicholson at the end of The Shining. Now, you can't find anybody. You got to show up a flair to find help in these stores. Now I'm desperate for anybody, somebody. Just show me. Just guide me in the right direction. I'll do the rest. So I see this guy, he's got the red shirt, the same color as everything else in the store. I'm guessing he works here. Looks like half a decent guy. I go up to him. Hey, buddy, I'm looking for those, for the wine bottles, the storage units, the modular store you could add on it. You go, oh, yeah, they're set up in a display next to the power tools at the front of the store. So now I got to walk back to the front of the store where I just came in 3 miles ago. So I'm on my way. These stores, I tell you, they're like the size of Nebraska. You see one person, one to 3 people every 11 miles. So I finally get to the front of the store, and there's no display unit. Am I on Practical Jokers? Are you serious? So now I got to walk back on the mission. Because I like to kill 3 hours. I like when my feet bleed. I enjoy that. Now I'm looking again, and I'm looking. I had nowhere to be found, these freaking things. These big box stores are great. But it makes you get to the point you want to say, fuck it. If they had more people to help you, people would buy more shit. So now I see this woman, I guess she works there. She's got the same shirt as the other guy had. So I asked her, excuse me, ma'am, do you know where those storage units for the wine bottles are, the modular ones that you could add on as you go on? Oh, yes, those are either in aisle 13 or 14. Oh, well, that's just great. That makes me feel comfortable. She's not even sure if it's an aisle of 13 or 14. So now it's a crapshoot. It's a roll of the dice. Now I'm gambling to see if this woman is right. She don't got to walk. I'm the one that's got to walk. So here we go. Back on the mission. I'm walking and walking. I go up aisle 14 first. And wow! Video! How nice is that? Why don't they have maps? You walk in, you take a map, and the map tells you of each item you want to buy, or just basically in a general area where they are, so you don't go on this witch hunt. They have, when you go to LA, they have maps to the stars' homes. Why not have maps for items that you want to find at a box store? So, then you pay for the shit, which that's a whole another ticked off, Vic. When you go to the register, you get the interrogation. You just figure another 20 minutes before you even get to your freaking car in the parking lot. Anyway, I get home with my modular storage unit for wine bottles, and Lucy says she doesn't like them. Bring them back. Trying to find help in a box store. That's what ticks me off.
Oh, unfortunately, Vic, we've all lived it and can appreciate that New York attitude ticked off Vic always brings to the show. And we like to do that hot in the New York Minute. And we always like to play it out with none other than the New York Dolls. Jet Boy, the New York Dolls, and that was our Hot in the New York Minute. We're bringing it to you live here at Zach's Cove and Rock and Roll Tiki Bar. Thanks for joining me. We're right here on C4OC Radio. And don't forget, once the weekend starts, you want to get partying with Denster's Meds. He's going to be on tomorrow, Saturday, to bring the party up, bring the party where it needs to be on a Saturday. That's, when you're the middle, you don't have to get up the next day. You've still got, it's all going on. It's a rock and roll party on Denster's Metal Meds. You want to check him out there. And, we're so happy to have you in the Tiki Bar, meeting me here. If you can't be here physically, close your eyes, get a Tiki mug, and join me. Now, Lindsay was busting my balls there. I like to have these fancy drinks. He likes to drink a beer. Always has. Always had one on his amplifier. That was one of the classic shots of our band. He always had a Budweiser on there. And I don't know how many of you know this, but during, the pop top, when you hear our song Partying Out, you hear the pop top. We always thought that was the greatest opening of all, because that's the sound. It's almost like a dog hearing a can opener. Yeah, your ears go up. Psst, what's that? And, Lindsay to have that beer on top and would do the lead and chug that beer down. That was always awesome. Always appreciated that, bro. That was a great maneuver there on stage. But yes, I like a fancy drink. I can drink a beer at home. If the bartender, let me see if you're worth your salt and you can make me a nice drink. You put an umbrella and some fruit in a drink and you feel like you're at a tropical party. That's the way I see it. Anyway, I'm enjoying having the guys in the band here. It's sunny. It's been torrentially frickin' coming down, raining. I've had enough. We don't get this like this. And I think every 7 years we get like an El Nino event or some. Actually, we've got a coastal condition called a little eddy. We got a little eddy going on here at the Rock and Roll Tiki Bar. Right now, it's nice. But like I said, during the week, we've had a lot of tropical storms, hard rain. And here's a song of, I worked with Alice Cooper, worked on this album. Here's an unreleased song that we worked on, and I think it fits the mood. This is It Rained All Night.
This has concluded one more episode of Meet Me at the Tiki with Zachary Neville. Make sure you tune in next Friday for Zachary Neville's Meet Me at the Tiki, 5 p.m. PST. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. PST, come join me, the Denster, on Denster's Med, Saturday afternoon matinee.